tell us and who do tell us, you need to look into Nikki more, Nikki Kessinger. All the way from the extreme end of things being Nikki's the one who ordered the hit.
She was there, hiding in the basement.
She was there. You know, so the extreme is she's the one who told Chris to do it. She's the real problem. All the way, that's the extreme side, and then all the way to, well, there were these texts where she was infatuated, she was in love, she was saying how good Chris was in the sack, and maybe we should look at her more. You know, what would you say to those people?
No, she had her moments where I had to talk her like off a ledge kind of deal.
What does that mean?
It's like, I guess after the fact, there was like videos of her that she was like recording herself because she was like bipolar or something. I never knew that. But it's like, she would get worked up about nothing. She would just like, she came to my house once because I think it was like July 4th. I didn't have to work that day, so I didn't like get up at like 4 o'clock to go home. And Shanann called me like 10 times in a row, and I didn't hear it because I was asleep. And I was just like, and she was pissed. Shanann was pissed. And like I called her on outside, like, where are you at? Like, what? Like, I was like, I didn't have to work today. It's like, you called me at like 5:30. It's like, my kids want to talk to you at 7:30. And like I was sleeping. She's like, she just like, screw you. Like, like I don't know where you're at. And on the phone. And I went back inside. So I'm like, I gotta go. And she was just like, okay, are you coming back? And like, probably not.
So wait a minute, you kind of lost me there. Were you at Nikki's place when Shanann called you?
Yeah.
Okay, and so you were sleeping in her bed?
Yeah, because I wasn't going to work that day because I didn't have to that day.
Okay.
First holiday I ever had off. And, Shanann was pissed, and, it kind of pissed Nikki off too that I left, but I think that's when I'd called Nikki later, and she was like, she kind of realized that, she'd always be like, the second, she said second fiddle.
Sure.
And because that's how I would come back that day. Because, I don't want to be anywhere else when Shanann calls. She was already pissed. So, it was stuff like that where she would go, she said she would go on like websites and look at like, will a relationship work with somebody, like will a mistress work, will a mistress turn into a relationship?
That's what Nikki was looking at?
Yeah.
She would tell you that, or you heard that?
She told me that.
Okay.
Yeah, she said that she would go on websites and look at stuff like that. I was like, why do you even look at stuff like that? She's like, I just want to see what other people have experienced.
But like, so that confuses me though, because I thought earlier you were saying she thought you were heading toward a divorce. So why was she looking at herself as a mistress?
This was later on.
Oh.
Like, in August, like the first week of August.
Okay guys, he's inadvertently telling on her.
When I told her, like, I hadn't had that talk with her about separation, that's when, like, she started looking at, like, apartments and stuff. But, like, during our July relationship type thing there.
Oh, I see.
That's when she was looking up, like...
And if you think about it, what the FBI agent asked, clearly, was that everyone's concerned that Nikki had some involvement. Chris never answered that question. He went into subconsciously going to a story of she's bipolar. He had to talk her off a ledge several times. You guys can rewind this. Listen to this. It's very, very important.
Will it actually work? Okay. She told her friend Brittany about it, I guess. And Brittany told her not to do it, but she said she'd already made a decision.
Okay. And so, are those people absolutely wrong about Nikki? She wasn't asking you to get rid of your family?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. And no part of any of this was because
Let's try this again.
Put it in your head.
She told her friend Brittany about it, I guess. And Brittany told her not to do it, but she said she'd already made a decision.
Okay.
That's when she was looking up, like, will it actually work? Okay. She told her friend Brittany about it, I guess. And Brittany told her not to do it, but she said she'd already made a decision.
Okay. And so, are those people absolutely wrong about Nikki? She wasn't asking you to get rid of your family?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. And no part of any of this was because she put it in your head or asked you to, or...
No, she never, this whole relationship contributed to it.
Sure.
But she didn't want me to.
Wait, was it ever like
All right, let's hear that again.
This whole relationship contributed to it.
Sure.
But she never.
All about Nikki. She wasn't asking you to get rid of your family.
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. And no part of any of this was because she put it in your head or asked you to, or
No, she never. This whole relationship contributed to it.
Sure.
But she didn't want me to.
wait, was it ever like I wish you didn't have kids, I want to have, kids of my own with you, like
She never knew if she wanted to have kids, but she said that, at one point she said, I'd like to give you a son.
did she know that Shanann was pregnant with a boy?
No.
Did she know Shanann was pregnant?
No.
Okay, guys, I'm going to interrupt this for 1 second. Anyone with a brain, Shanann was pregnant with the son. You guys seen the birthday card wishes to Kessinger from Chris. New beginnings, you're going to have your first. She always thought she was going to be second fiddle to Shanann. And you guys have to take all of this evidence in consideration when we are listening to this, okay? Now, we're going to continue to listen because this is very important. Because when I stated he inadvertently told on Kessinger, he was telling on Kessinger. And the FBI is not stupid, okay? This is a 5-hour audio that's missing a lot of minutes that we don't have. We don't have, okay? So let's continue.
Why is that? You just didn't tell her?
I didn't know. Because we had met.
But she didn't put that on Facebook. How did she not see that?
I don't know. Maybe she did. She just waited for me to tell her, or she put it out of her head.
Can I ask you a question?
See, but Shanann put that on Facebook, Tammy says. How did she not see that? Chris responds, well, maybe she did. Are you guys catching on to all this? Do you guys think the FBI is really stupid? I'm going to rewind this. Let's hear it again.
Put that on Facebook. How did she not see that?
I don't know. Maybe she did. She just waited for me to tell her, or she put it out of her head.
Can I ask you a question? A lot of people think you named Nico after Nikki. So what was that about?
Nico was actually a name that Shanann liked.
Shanann thought of that one?
Yeah, I wanted to spell it like N-E-K-O. I thought it was like Nico that way. But she said N-I-C-O. And I thought it was like, is that like Nico or something?
Okay.
I guess Nico is more of like an Italian name.
Yeah.
So, and she did leave for, my middle name, my dad's and all that. But Nico is that's a name that she always liked.
Okay.
Did she name all the kids? Did she name Bella and Celeste?
Yeah, Bella, because...
All right, we're going to go back to the important stuff here again. One more time, I want you guys to hear this.
At apartment and stuff, but during our July...
Saying she thought you were heading toward a divorce. So why was she looking at herself as a mistress?
This was later on.
Oh.
In August, first week of August, when I told her, I hadn't had that talk with her about separation.
Uh-huh.
That's when, she started looking at, apartment and stuff. But, during our July relationship type thing there.
Oh, I see.
That's when she was looking up, if it would actually work. And she told her friend Brittany about it, I guess. And Brittany told her not to do it, but she said she'd already made a decision.
Okay. And so, are those people absolutely wrong about Nikki? She wasn't asking you to get rid of your family. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. And no part of any of this was because she put it in your head or asked you to, or
No, she never. This whole relationship contributed to it.
Sure.
But she didn't want me to.
Wait, was it ever I wish you didn't have kids, I want to have, kids of my own with you,
She never knew if she wanted to have kids, but she said that, at one point she said, I'd like to give you a son.
Well, did she know that Shanann was pregnant with a boy?
See, at one point she said, I would like to give you a son. So in Chris's distorted, sick mind, Shanann was already going to give him that son. You guys honestly think Kessinger didn't know that Shanann was pregnant and was going to have a kid? Come on, guys. Let's be smart here.
Did she know Shanann was pregnant?
No.
And why is that? You just didn't tell her?
I didn't know. Like, because we had met.
But she didn't put that on Facebook.
That's
Like, how did she not see that?
I don't know. Maybe she did. She just waited for me to tell her, or she put it out her head.
Can I ask you a question? A lot of people think you named Nico after Nikki. So what was that about?
Nico was actually a name that Shanann liked.
Okay. Shanann thought of that one?
Yeah, I wanted to spell it like N-I-K-O.
Alright, I'm gonna-
I thought it was like Nico.
I'm going to rewind this again, okay?
And she was just like, okay, are you coming back?
There are quite a few people who would tell us, and who do tell us, you need to look into Nikki more, Nikki Kessinger. All the way from the extreme end of things being Nikki's the one who ordered the hit.
She was there, hiding in the basement.
She was there. You know, so the extreme is she's the one who told Chris to do it. She's the real problem. All the way, that's the extreme side, and then all the way to, well, there were these texts where she was infatuated, she was in love, she was saying how good Chris was in the sack, and maybe we should look at her more. You know, what would you say to those people?
You know, she had her moments where I had to talk her like off the ledge kind of deal.
Okay, guys, are you
Like-
catching this? He is not answering the question. The FBI is stating, there's people out there with the extreme end of the deal stating that Kessinger was in the basement. Blah, 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 blah. Chris could have... Thank you, Minnie Mouse Kitchen. Minnie Mouse Kitchen is talking on its own here. Okay, so guys, he's asked a question that he could simply answer. You hear the kitchen? He's asking a question, guys. The FBI agent is asking a question that people are saying we need to look harder into Kessinger. Boy, that kitchen's really gone off. We need to look harder into Kessinger. You know, she was down in the basement. There's an extreme part of we get reports constantly. Chris could have answered very simply, guys. No, absolutely not. Okay? Now, by no means am I stating, right now, I'm going to put a disclaimer here, that Chris is not responsible for the murders of his beautiful family. Chris and Chris alone chose to do this, okay? Chris chose to do this. And I'm going to state that over and over and over again. Chris chose to do this to his family. But when the FBI is asking a person a question, and you know the answer, and if, say, hypothetically speaking, the FBI asked me if this was the other way around, and I was in Chris's shoes, that, you know, if so-and-so had anything to do with the murder, you know, and the extreme, that Kessinger was in the basement and blah, 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 and I knew that the other person didn't have anything, I would say, no, that's ridiculous. Absolutely not. Like, get out of here. No. Like, that's what you would say, right? So I'm going to rewind this for a second. I want you guys to hear this again. Just again, so we can get this. Yes, Minnie Mouse. Again, so we can get this, okay? And I'm going to get closer on the audio.
Look at her more. What would you say to those people?
No, she had her moments where I had to talk her like off a ledge kind of deal.
What does that mean?
It's like, I guess after the fact, there was like videos of her that she was like recording herself because she was like bipolar or something. I never knew that. But it's like, and she would get worked up about nothing. She would just like, she came to my house once because I think it was like July.
Guys, he had a lot of pressure on him. Right here I'm hearing Chris has got a Vivint doorbell camera outside. And Kessinger's getting worked up. This man is married. And he's telling this mistress lies too. Keep that in mind. And also that he has a doorbell camera. And Kessinger's getting worked up and she's showing up at his house. Right here out of Chris's mouth. She's getting worked up. She's showing up at his house. Oh my God. I have a doorbell camera. Oh my God. My wife's going to find out. Listen very closely.
July 4th, I didn't have to work that day. So I didn't get up at 4 o'clock and go home.
I'm going to rewind this one more time.
You need to look into Nikki more, Nikki Kessinger. All the way from the extreme end of things being Nikki's the one who ordered the hit.
She was there, hiding in the basement.
She was there. So the extreme is she's the one who told Chris to do it. She's the real problem. All the way, that's the extreme side, and then all the way to, well, there were these texts where she was infatuated, she was in love, she was saying how good Chris was in the sack, and maybe we should look at her more. What would you say to those people?
No, she had her moments where I had to talk her like off a ledge.
See, what would you say to those people? Well, she had her moments. I had to talk her off the ledge. Guys, are you picking this up? Like, come on.
Kind of deal.
What does that mean?
It's like, I guess after the fact, there was like videos of her that she was like recording herself because she was like bipolar or something. I never knew that. But it's like, and she would get worked up about nothing. She would just like, she came to my house once because I think it was like July 4th. I didn't have to work that day. So I didn't get up at 4 o'clock and go home. And Shanann called me 10 times in a row. And I didn't hear it because I was sleeping. And I was just like, and she was pissed. Shanann was pissed. And I called her outside, where are you at? I was like, I didn't have to work today. It was like, you called me at 5:30. It was like, my kids want to talk to you at 7:30. I'm like I was sleeping. She was like, screw you, I don't know where you're at. And I went back inside, so I gotta go. And she was just like, okay, can you come back? I'm like, probably not.
So wait a minute, you kind of lost me there. Were you at Nikki's place when Shanann called you?
Yeah.
Okay, and so you were sleeping in her bed?
Yeah, because I wasn't going to work that day because I didn't have to that day.
Okay.
First holiday I had off. And, Shanann was pissed. And, it kind of pissed Nikki off too that I left. But I think that's when I'd called Nikki later and she was like, she kind of realized that, she'd always be the second, she said second fiddle. That's right. And because that's how I fight with her.
See, it kind of pissed off Kessinger too, and she always realized that, sorry guys, that she was always going to be the second fiddle. So it kind of pissed Kessinger off too that Chris said, I gotta go, because his wife's calling. Guys, right there, that tells her right there, if she wasn't, which we all know by discovery files, Kessinger was clearly looking into Shanann. She clearly knew that they were not getting a divorce. You guys hear her interrogation videos stating that that was not happening. And you guys heard that all for yourself, right? Sorry about the dogs barking.
I don't know.
Let's hear this one more time.
She was already. was like July 4th. I didn't have to work that day, so I didn't like get up at like 4 o'clock to go home. And Shanann called me like 10 times in a row out of here because I was sleeping. And I was just like, and she was pissed. Shanann was pissed. And like I called her on outside, like, where are you at? Like, what? Like, I was like, I didn't have to work today. It's like, you called me at like 5:30. It's like, well, kids want to talk to you at 7:30. I'm like I was sleeping. She's like, screw you. Like, like I don't know where you're at. I went back inside. Something like I gotta go. And
Alright, not taking up for Chris. Not at all, guys. But he's got pressure. Okay, he's got pressure.
she was just like, okay, then you come back. I'm like, probably not.
So wait a minute, you kind of lost me there. Were you at Nikki's place when
Yeah.
Shanann called you?
Yeah.
Okay, and so you were sleeping in her bed.
Yeah, because I wasn't going to work that day because I didn't have to that day.
Okay.
First holiday I ran off, and Shanann was pissed, and it kind of pissed Nikki off too that I left. But I think that's when I'd called Nikki later, and she was like, she kind of realized that she'd always be like, the second. She said second fiddle. Sure.
One more time.
That's how I would. And Shanann was pissed, and it kind of pissed Nikki off too that I left. But I think that's when I'd called Nikki later, and she was like, she kind of realized that she'd always be like, the second. She said second fiddle. Sure. And because that's how I would come like that day. Just I don't want to be anywhere else when Shanann calls. She was already pissed. So it was stuff like that where she would she would go. She said she would go on like websites and look at like, will a relationship work with somebody? Like, will a mistress work? Will a mistress turn into a relationship?
That's what Nikki was looking at?
Yeah.
She would tell you that, or you
She
heard
told
that?
me that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, she was looking up wedding dresses and will you ever marry a mistress? Nikki was infatuated with Chris. Facts. True facts.
She said that she would go on websites and look at stuff like that. I was like, why do you even look at stuff like that? She's like, I just want to see what other people have experienced.
But so that confuses me though, because I thought earlier you were saying she thought you were heading toward a divorce. So why was she looking at herself as a mistress?
This was later on.
Oh.
Like, in August, like the first week of August, when I told her, like, I hadn't had that talk with her about separation.
Uh-huh.
That's when, like, she would start looking at, like, apartments and stuff. But, like, during our July relationship type thing there.
Oh, I see.
That's when she was looking up, like, will it actually work. And she told her friend Brittany about it, I guess. And Brittany told her not to do it, but she said she'd already made a decision.
Okay. And so, are those people absolutely wrong about Nikki? She wasn't asking you to get rid of your family?
No.
Are you sure? Okay. And no part of any of this was because she put it in your head or asked you to, or?
No, she never. I mean, this whole relationship contributed to it.
Sure.
But she didn't want me to.
Hey,
One
was
more
there ever,
time.
I wish you didn't.
Wrong about Nikki? She wasn't asking you to get rid of your family?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. And no part of any of this was because she put it in your head or asked you to, or?
No, she never. I mean, this whole relationship.
No part of this was because she put it in your head or asked you to. Listen to Chris stutter a little bit. Pause. Listen to what he doesn't state. Gonna rewind. Let you guys hear one more time.
Okay. And no part of any of this was because she put it in your head or asked you to, or?
No, she never. I mean, this whole relationship contributed to it.
Sure.
But she didn't want me to.
Hey, was it ever like, I wish you didn't have kids, I want to have, kids of my own with you, like?
She wants. I mean, she never did it. Like she said, she's not like to give you a son.
Did she know that Shanann was pregnant with a boy?
No.
Did she know Shanann was pregnant?
No.
And why is that? You just didn't tell her?
I didn't know. Like, because we had met.
But Shanann put that on Facebook.
That's
Like, how did she not see that?
I don't know. Maybe she did. She just waited for me to tell her, or she put it out.
Okay, guys, did you hear what Tammy just stated? Tammy, in her tone, in her pressured speech, is not convinced that Kessinger is not involved. I'm listening to pauses in their voices, pressured speech, a little bit of passion behind wordings, which law enforcement uses, okay? Tammy is in disbelief right now, okay? And I can tell you by analyzing this right here, they're on to Kessinger, okay? So, again, I apologize for the dogs barking. Gonna rewind to let you hear one more time. Listen to Tammy and how she states this.
Put that on Facebook.
That's
Like, how did she not see that?
I don't know. Maybe she did, and she just waited for me to tell her, or she put it out of her head.
Can I ask you a question? A lot of people think you named Nico after Nikki.
All right, I'm gonna go back to Tammy and the question.
About this was later on.
Oh,
Like, in August, like the first week of August, when I told her, like, I hadn't had that talk with her about separation. That's when, like, she started looking at, like, apartments and stuff. But, like, during our July relationship type thing there,
oh, I see.
that's when she was looking up, like, it will actually work.
Okay.
She told her friend Brittany about it, I guess, and Brittany told her not to do it, but she said she'd already made a decision.
Okay. And so, are those people absolutely wrong about Nikki? She wasn't asking you to get rid of your family?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. And no part of any of this was because she put it in your head or asked you to, or...
No, she never, this whole relationship contributed to it.
Sure.
But she never...
One more time.
Wrong about Nikki? She wasn't asking you to get rid of your family?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. And no part of any of this was because she put it in your head or asked you to, or...
No, she never, this whole relationship
Guys.
contributed to it.
Sure.
But she
Listen to Chris. Pause, okay? I'm gonna rewind it one more time.
Okay. And no part of any of this was because she put it in your head or asked you to, or...
No, she never, this whole relationship contributed to it.
Sure.
But she didn't want me to.
I mean, was it ever like, I wish you didn't have kids, I want to have, kids of my own with you, like...
She never knew if she wanted to have kids, but she said that, at one point she said, I'd like to give you a son.
Did she know that Shanann was pregnant with a boy?
No.
Did she know Shanann was pregnant?
No.
And why is that? You just didn't tell her?
I didn't know, because we had met.
But Shanann put that on Facebook. Like, how did she not see that?
I don't know. Maybe she did, and she just waited for me to tell her, or she put it out of her head.
Can I ask you a question? A lot of people think you named Nico after Nikki. So what was that about?
Nico was actually a name that Shanann liked.
I'm gonna fast forward this.
Yeah, I actually Celeste is her grandmother's name, Catherine Shanann.
Okay, guys. I am going to pause this video. I'm going to add another video, which is a very important part of this.
Switch, my head goes off, the light switch in her head goes
just like goes different directions. That was kind of like my last like opportunity to kind of get out of this. I wish I would have said, yeah, let's go. And I think that would have just put me on a different trajectory. So then, Shanann, did she actually say you're never going to see the kids again? She said it to me before. Yeah.
Okay, guys, what I just took out of that is Chris knows right there, he just stated babysitter, the friend, his children that came over and watched the kids for Chris while he went with Kessinger, gave him an out. And he wished he would have took that out, because then none of this would have happened. Shanann would not have had that receipt. And Chris even had stated he really wanted to ask Kessinger if she could pay that bill, because he ran out of those gift cards. So, analyzing this confession thoroughly, I've took a lot out of it. And the most things that stand out to me the most is that Chris is a narcissist, and he got caught, and he knew there was no way out, and he knew he was losing a beautiful wife, because Shanann would have lived her life hurtfully, but very well without him. So he knew this. And he knew that that was the last straw. That receipt proved to Shanann he was having an affair. And right there, he just stated it all. You just heard it. You can rewind this and hear it again. But that's what he's saying. Is that if he didn't go with Kessinger that night and had that dinner, none of this would have happened. Think about that, guys.
She wanted the reason. She knew something was right. Like, you know, like when the whole thing with my parents happened, with my parents called it Nut Gate. Nut Gate. What's that? Peanut? The peanut? Oh, yeah. Everyone was upset. Oh, with her family? Yeah. Okay.
Pistachio ice cream or
Yeah, they might have let them.
I haven't heard that.
I guess other people are calling it like that. But that was like another help. Like maybe I could have just like stopped everything with Vicky and just kind of concentrated on helping like whatever happened there. Because she had a story, my mom had a story. Like whatever happened, I'd probably ask my 10-year-old nephew. Probably can tell me what actually happened. Well, they both had their feelings for good reasons, and they both didn't see it the other person's way. Yeah, and like maybe I didn't talk to my parents from then on until like August 6th. And like, you know, my dad took that whole week off. Wow, your parents took that off? Yeah. Oh, okay. Because like, Shanann was like, do not talk to them, do not call them, do not do anything. Is that what she said? Yeah. And the 16th birthday.
Keep in mind, they know he's lying right now, because Discovery Files states differently.
Was 17th, but I think the actual particular morning was like a couple days after, in August. July, yeah. And like my mom or my dad was gonna go, but then there was like a post on Facebook about, you know, allergies and stuff like that she had made, but I was like, no, I just can't do it anymore. Just like, because he perceived that as her taking a shot, I think. Yeah, okay. Yeah. She always says she never, you know, put those posts directed at anybody, but she had
If you read them, you know who she's talking about.
she had method in that, and you can see it. But yeah, I wish I could have just took more time just to fix that. Yeah. Like I wanted my parents to be involved. Like since, you know, like the whole wedding thing, and then up to that, it was like, you know, my mom and my sister were always like combating with Shanann, combating with them. My dad was always cool. Like he's just like me. He's just like, you know, go with the flow. Like I just want everybody to get along type deal.
I love your dad.
Oh, he's the best.
Isn't he?
So
it's like a well.
So were they staying there at your parents' house during that time?
Yeah, it was, so they would go from my, Sandy and Frank's house for like a few days or 5 days, and then go to my mom and dad's house for a couple of days, kind of bounce back and forth.
Okay. So it happened during that time they were there, yeah. Okay.
So there were so many things that happened, weren't there? They just were little tiny ingredients to this recipe.
Yeah, nothing like,
It's nuts, Chris. I mean, it's so many things just didn't go your way.
everything was like somebody was stirring a pot, and they were just,
That's exactly what it was like. So then,
Okay. So it happened during that time they were there, yeah. Okay.
so there were so many things that happened, weren't there? They just were little tiny ingredients to this recipe.
yeah, nothing like,
It's nuts, Chris. I mean, it's so many things just didn't go your way.
everything was like somebody was stirring a pot, and they were just,
That's exactly what it was like. So then,
You know, somebody was stirring the pot.
my using an actual bank account card and just like not trying to hide it at all.
so walk me through it though, because she comes home, she touches you, you guys have sex, you fall asleep, then you wake up for work, all natural, all, a normal day's work type thing. What was it that made you think, I just can't do this anymore, I have to talk to her?
It was eating away at me. Like I knew like something. I knew everything that I did. Like I know like when I was with Nikki, it was different. Like I wasn't even like in the realm of I'm a dad, I'm a husband type thing.
Oh.
And then like I was saying, when I'm never at home, like sleeping in my own bed, like I have no like concept of that anymore.
Interesting. So in your mind and heart, you could live.
So, he has no concept once he was at Nikki's all that time, while Shanann was with her parents, of being a father, of being a husband, while he was with Nikki.
Moved on.
Like it kind of felt like if I wasn't at home, like I didn't think about it almost, because like if I wasn't sleeping at home, like I think there was at one point like Nikki had gone to the mountains with her friends for like a few days, like into June, first part of July, and then like that part obviously it was home, but like from that whole month of July on, it was like I was never at home. Like I never had all those reminders from me. I never had, like every time my wife would call me, I would be at Nikki's house.
Oh. While she was in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would walk outside and talk to her, like when I was next to the car or something like that. I would never be at home looking like having all these pictures around me, just being in the same bed.
Okay, so he would go outside to talk to his wife while he was with Nikki, but yet Nikki thought they were really going through a divorce? Really? If you're going through a divorce, why are you outside talking to your wife, and why can't you talk to her in front of me?
Seeing my kids in bed, seeing everything that we built for the last 6 years.
And so, did you just want to once and for all get it out in the open?
I just wanted to just tell her how I was feeling at that point in time. Like I didn't feel like me and her were compatible anymore. Honestly, it didn't feel like that because what was going on with Nikki, it was new. It was new.
Right, absolutely.
Anything that's new always feels better than the old.
Yes. And
You were
did you like
probably bitten by the love bug.
Yeah,
That's how a lot of therapists talk about it. Yeah.
It was just like I never felt.
Did you just hear Chris say, unfortunately? When Tammy said, you were kind of hit by the love bug, which is disgusting in itself. But did you hear Chris say, yes, unfortunately?
I mean, even like with new relationships in the past, like it always feels different. Like the first couple weeks, then but it just with someone Nikki felt different. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just like you said. Like
it also seems, is it accurate to say that sexually you were able to say, Nikki, this is what I would like, this is what I'm into, or blah, 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 and maybe not what you have?
Nikki just wanted. I mean, she wanted what she wanted. She wanted to do it pretty much all the time. And I was just like, okay, that's fine with me.
Okay.
Then with Shanann, it was just like, hey. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it didn't. But that wasn't the case as far as that way. It like just not think about what I was gonna say or plan what I was gonna say or not, gonna say something stupid or something.
Right. A little bit of freedom.
Can I ask you something about that morning that you had sex with Shanann? Did you feel at all like maybe you were kind of cheating on Nikki by doing that?
I felt strange. I felt like, the first time I was with Nikki, I felt weird. First time,
Sure.
and then the last time I was with Shanann, I felt totally strange. I was like, I didn't know who I was. I didn't know who I had become. I felt like I become who I was on TV, and that did not feel right.
Isn't that a weird thing to say? Like, I didn't know who I was. Brainwashing 101, guys.
Me, like I didn't know what had happened to me. So Nikki even asked me like, have you done this before? Have you ever strayed away? I'm like, I've never even thought about it. It's like, what's different? It's like, I guess it's just you that's different because I've just never actually like I've seen girls smile at me before, never done anything about it. With her, it was just like, it's like she had the leash on me and she tugged me away. As soon as she walked, I'm like, what the heck?
See, it's like she had a leash on me and she tugged me away. Guys, you have to listen very carefully. It's like she had a leash on me and she tugged me away. He's speaking about Kessinger.
What's going on?
If you live in the Melbourne area,
So hold on.
and you are tired.
Tammy brings up a very good point. I wonder if that last time with Shanann having sex had somewhat of a role in you thinking, I gotta do something, I gotta say something, we gotta have a talk, something's gotta change.
Alright, I'm going to stop that part there because it's a fact that never happened. Chris is lying. They did DNA swabs and that is not correct. His story, he's lying. He's lying.
I felt like it was like maybe like a trigger point or something like you hit the push button on a bomb and it just blows up.
Right.
Just something in my head was just like something, someone's hurt. Just like I had to say something.
Okay. So then exactly what did you say and what happened?
So when I woke her up, and just like, hey, we just gotta talk.
Okay.
And just like I told her, I don't feel compatible. I don't feel like this is gonna work. I just, I don't wanna. Like, can we cancel the trip to Aspen? Because she had booked a trip that week to go to some like mystery 4-star luxury hotel or something.
Just the two of you or the whole family?
Just me and her.
Okay.
And she had a man to pay her because they watched the kids that weekend or something.
Okay.
And I was just like, can we cancel that? Can we like do something? Like, from what I remember, I even said, can we move to Brighton just to get away from like this house?
Oh.
But like, I'm not sure if that was like in the beginning or the end of part of the conversation or whatnot. And that conversation went so many different ways. Like they'd gone from like staying together to not staying together to just like all of the above.
Okay. So this is half an hour, what?
Definitely not more than half an hour, I don't think.
Okay.
I don't think.
Are you crying? Is she crying?
It's back and forth. It's like, she's got, mascara. She didn't wash her face when she got home. She had makeup on still, so mascara was running all over her and stuff like that. And it was nothing about that conversation. I just wish I could take all of that. Just the whole thing back, everything. But
So then when did it turn?
as far as that conversation, it's at the end when I was telling her, like, I told her I didn't love her anymore. That's what happened.
What happened?
She told me to get off her and I'm over there.
Okay.
Did she say she said something like you're hurting the baby or something?
That was before that, because when I was straddling her, it was kind of like around her waist type deal.
Why did you get on her like that?
I just, when we got on the bed, that's just when I got on.
Is that so she would listen to you?
I felt like she could probably listen to me just laying beside her, but I got on top of her. And every time I think about it, I'm just like, did I know I was going to do that before I got on top of her? I don't know.
Really? That's an interesting thought, Chris. You don't know if you do.
Just like everything that happened that morning, I don't know, like I try to go back in my head. I'm just like, I didn't want to do this, but I did it. Everything just kind of like.
You felt like you had to?
It just felt like it was. I don't even want to say it felt like I had to. It just felt like there was already something in my mind that was planned that I was going to do it, and then I woke up that morning and it was going to happen, and I had no control of it.
You never thought about it before?
It was just like, I don't want, like what, like just like in the sentencing hearing, that prosecutor said it takes 2 to 4 minutes for something like that to happen. Like why couldn't I just let go? I didn't.
Well, that's interesting.
Okay, just like
Was it feeling like it was in motion and you just couldn't stop it?
yeah, it was just like I don't even want to know what she saw when she looked back at me. Honestly.
Did you look at her? What was she doing? Why do you think she wasn't fighting?
Maybe she was praying. Maybe she was just. I read the Bible and said, where the scripture says, don't forgive these people for they do not know what they do. Maybe she was saying that. I don't know what she was saying in her head, but she. Like when you guys told me, like, take off your shirt and start checking for defensive movements, like,
It wasn't like that, right? Where you're just like, maybe felt out of control, or maybe felt like, I don't know why I couldn't just take a step back, or, like even when you said, when your buddy was like, let's go to the football game, you wanted to say yes, you could.
I wanted to, like, I had never been to a football game since North Carolina, so I was just like, yeah, sure. But I wanted to say that.
Yeah.
I wanted to just text them, hey, here's your fell through, can go.
So, then what?
Just, after, Shanann was like, once I was, when she was gone, it was just like, I didn't know what was going on. It was like, it was like a traumatic, I don't know what you call it, traumatic event type of everything, and like, I was shaking, I didn't know what had happened. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what I had done. I still wasn't in that right state of mind. I don't think like I was in control of what I could think or what I could do at that point in time. Like most people say, like, why don't you just call 911? When I was like, unless you're in that situation, you don't know. You don't know what you would have done. It's easy to play Monday morning quarterback.
I agree with that.
Like you said, if somebody shoots somebody, you don't know what they was going through their mind at that point in time. You don't know what you'd have done.
So what happened next? Is that what happened, Melanie, then? What she said? Did she hear something?
I'm going to stop it here because I want to get to the Kessinger part.
What'd you tell her?
It's kind of like what I'm doing right now. I'm just like, nervous, shaking, not knowing, like, what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, I know, like, my life is completely changed. I don't know, like, what's happening. Like, honestly, like, I try to picture that whole ride. Like, it's like 45 minutes to an hour ride out there. And it's just like, couldn't I have, like, saved my girl's life? Couldn't I have done something? Why did I do that? I don't know.
Right.
Like, this is my flesh and blood.
He's talking past tense, guys. Could I have done something on the way out there, that 45-minute ride? Could I have done something to save my girl's life? He's talking past tense. You have to pick up on these things. So it's a 45-minute to an hour ride that we're talking about here, guys. So let's rewind and listen one more time.
I like saved my girl's life. Couldn't I have done something? Why did I do that? I don't know. Like, this is my.
See, could I have saved my girl's life? Why did I do that? I don't know. And he's talking about the 45-minute ride. Past tense. He could have saved their life. You have to pick up on these things.
Flesh and blood. This is like what I wanted all my life, was to be a dad, just to have, kids, and they love me, all that, and it just nothing made sense.
Right.
Like the whole thing, nothing made sense. I'm just like, what are you doing?
So what happened when you got out there?
I'm going to stop it here.
I took Shanann out. Kids growing up with other parents, depending on what grandparents or whoever they grew up with, it seemed to be fine, but it was just like, it was an anger thing. It was just like,
And what were you so angry at Shanann about? Like if you could pinpoint it.
nothing that makes anybody want to do this. I mean, you can be angry at your spouse like your whole life, but you should never have done anything like this. You should never let it get to that point. Or not let it get to a point where I've never been angry before. Like, this was like the epitome of being angry.
Yeah.
The epitome of like showing a rage. The epitome of like losing your mind. And even like some people in here said, dude, like, what the heck happened? You must have freaking snapped. Like, I just walked away. It's like, I don't see it in my mind how it could, like, I look outside every day and I'm like, what can we be doing right now? Right now I'd have a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-month-old son. And a beautiful wife. And just like, right now it's just me.
I watched that video of you finding out that Shanann was pregnant. You don't seem excited. You seem like kind of in shock and yeah, like, oh fuck. Like,
Of course, he's not excited because of Kessinger wants to have his first son.
What were the conversations with Nikki as far as, at some point you guys were talking about her helping you find an apartment. So what did you guys talk about as far as your future together?
That didn't really happen until like I got back from the beach. So I told her like I lied to her like, hey, like I had talked to Shanann about getting the separation.
And that talk hadn't happened yet.
No, I mean it kind of like she knew something was going on and things. We weren't sleeping in the same room, and then she even mentioned the fact like, hey, Colorado's 50-50 state or something like that. I was like, okay, I guess she looked it up. But that actual talk hadn't happened. I was just like, I thought it was going to happen.
Yeah. And so in conversations with Nikki, I get it. I mean, you're telling her like the progress toward the divorce is a little bit more than it was. And then so what were you guys planning?
So it was more of like, she's going to help me find an apartment that was affordable. That's kind of just around like Brighton or maybe just close to work, like for London or something around there. That's kind of like where my area was.
did you talk about moving in with her?
She didn't want that.
She didn't want that. Would you have done that if she would have been cool with that?
I've been a little too soon. I would have thought there was just, we'd only been really seeing each other like almost like a month, or maybe just talking about 2 months. That would have been really. She called her house like her apartment like her, I don't know, like her kind of like a shield or kind of like her. She had another word for it, but
Like her safe place?
yeah, like a safe place or something like that. And she didn't like, people like to invade it, but that's why she always let me come over, because she said she felt like it was fine, like her dog liked me and everything. Like she would say, hey, just ship people off here type thing. Okay.
So you and Shanann, did you talk about selling the house? And at what point did you discussing everything.
Yeah, she had sent an email about to Ann about like how we would go about like selling the house.
Yeah.
And I think Ann told her about, like Ann was always about getting pre-approved. Just like, like if you're gonna sell your house, get pre-approved for like another house, so it's like, much faster.
Yeah, so you just quickly transfer from one to the other. Okay, when did that happen?
Progress toward the divorce is a little bit more than it was. And then so what were you guys planning?
So it was more of like, she's gonna help me find an apartment that was affordable. That's kind of just around like Brighton or maybe just close to work, like for London or something around there. That's kind of like where my area was.
Did you talk about moving in with her?
She didn't want that.
She didn't want that. Would you have done that if she would have been cool with that?
I've been close too soon. I would have thought there's just, we only been really seeing each other like almost like a month, or they just talking about 2 months. That would really. She called her house like her apartment like her. I don't know, like her kind of like a shield or kind of like her. She had another word for it, but
Like her safe place?
yeah, like a safe place or something like that. And she like people like to invade it, but that's why she always let me come over, because she said she felt like it was fine, like her dog liked me and everything. Like she would say, just should belong here type thing. Okay.
So you and Shanann, did you talk about selling the house? Then at what point did you discuss everything?
Yeah, she had sent an email about to Ann about like how we would go about.
Still around and alive when you were around. Okay. So that's completely accurate. There's nothing else about that.
They got in the truck.
Okay.
Where did the blanket go?
It's probably in the trash can or something, I think. It wasn't like, it was still in my truck.
Okay. Well, we thought we saw some GPS where you
Okay,
stopped
guys,
by
did you
and-
just hear that? He just stated they were still in my truck. Where were the girls' blankets? Well, they were still in my truck. So just wanted to clarify that with everyone.
They don't. I mean, anybody would think that. I certainly would have, but I have to admit, I was surprised. Really taken aback by that, but they certainly don't. So.
What did they say when they knew you were coming out here?
They said they want to know, details, because they need closure, and that's really all they want, and they want to keep it private. And I said, well, absolutely. That's, we'll talk to them about what you told us, and just so they can put it past them, because they're having a hard time dealing with it, trying to get past it all. And I think that may help, just to know.
Closures, my parents still think, like, I've told them I pled guilty for a reason.
Right.
Right.
And, like, I told it to them when they had that video phone thing in Colorado the day before, like, I pled guilty, but I plead guilty for a reason. Like, I didn't just, I knew other people were watching, but I didn't just go in and, like, just say anything. And, like, they seemed to take it, like, okay.
What made you do that, Chris? What made you plead guilty?
I didn't want anybody else to. I didn't want them to go through this for 2 or 4 years. I didn't want my attorneys to lie for me for 2 or 4 years. Like, they would have done anything.
If you guys heard that correctly, when they said what made you plead guilty, I didn't want anybody, and he stops himself. He stops himself. We can rewind.
Anybody else. I didn't want them to go through this for 2 or 4 years. I didn't want my attorneys to lie for me for 2 or 4 years. Like, they would have done anything I told them to do. Sure. That's what they're. I don't see how they can do that. Like, that's what attorneys do. Like, they take their defendant and they say, like, what happened? Okay, we'll go with that story. Like, I told them everything I just told you guys. And it's just like, they got together, like, well, if they ever wanted they ever offered a plea deal, would you ever want to, like, just plead guilty to them? Like, yeah, I mean, if we can end this, end it. Like, I was, like, in September, I told them that.
Really?
Yeah, they, like, but, you know.
Yeah, because he wanted to take the whole responsibility. Taken from all of this, he wants to take the whole responsibility so that someone else doesn't get that responsibility. So let's get to Kessinger. Very important to add to this. Listen carefully.
Every single time I get reminded of this, like, I'm sure it's never going to go away, but to actually have to come and talk about it, have other people talk about it, have, you know, all three of you get on the witness stand and say, you know, what they saw, what they've seen, what they heard on tapes, everything like that. It's just like, I don't get rid of that.
What they saw, what they seen, what they heard on tapes. You guys heard that?
Over and over and over again for years. Like, if I could just end this for everybody, and then, like, there's any closure at all.
Alright guys, it's gonna come up, but pay very close attention
They were like telling you stuff.
because there's a letter, and at the end of the video I'm gonna show you the letter.
They've been there a bunch of times. And, like,
But listen to FBI,
yeah, I was like, you know,
Cotter and Tammy.
I just felt like maybe there's a different purpose for me somewhere. You know, maybe it's here. I don't know. Like, I prayed to God every day that He would move me away from Colorado. Like, move me away from, like, the DOC there, because I just knew, like, they were saying.
Oh, move him away from Colorado because they were threatening his life. What about your own? What about your own blood and your wife?
Saying there was a hit on me. They said if I was going to a DOC in Colorado, like, I'd last a week and I'd be dead. Because of, like, the gangs and all that kind of stuff. So, like, I just felt like God moved me here for a reason. And I'll, you know, hopefully I can help people that way. But, like, I didn't want my family, I didn't want Shannann's family, all of our friends, like, you know, having to go through that. Because after a while I knew it was, like, this stuff was everywhere. And I knew, like, all her Thrive friends, everybody, that was just, like, it would just broke, just with that hole in their heart just a little bit bigger every time. I didn't want that. So I knew it would have gotten worse. I didn't want it to get any worse than it already was.
Did you ever think about, well, you know, it could be very believable what I told him. It could be very believable that Shanann did, you know, end the girls. And so maybe if I tried to convince people that, maybe if I fought with my attorneys on that, maybe I could lessen it somehow. Did you ever think about that?
Honestly, I never even thought about the story until you guys mentioned it.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I wondered.
Honestly, I never thought about the story till you guys mentioned it, which is correct. Tammy put it in his head and he ran with it. Just like how Chris talked to his father every night and has heard a lot of stories, and he conjures these stories up, which is, I don't believe, because I'm listening to what he states and I'm listening to him forget the lies that he tells. And also, I'm reminded by that letter.
Never even thought about it until you guys mentioned it.
So what did you think about it once it got mentioned?
It's just like I just went with it. I didn't, like, you know, I knew my dad was out there. I knew it was like, you know, I knew they would probably believe it because, you know, my mom and my sister just never really liked Shanann. I knew it was like, you know.
Right there, did you guys hear that? Let me rewind just a second. Let's hear that one more time.
I knew they would probably believe it because, you know, my mom and my sister just never really liked Shanann. I knew it was like, you know.
One more time.
I knew they would probably believe it because, you know, my mom and my sister just never really liked Shanann.
One more
I
time.
knew it was like, you know. I knew they would probably believe it because, you know, my mom and my sister just never really liked Shanann. I knew it was like, you know. I mean, through all this, like, I got letters from some of my friends that even said, you know, when we went over to your house, we could see, you know, Shanann was more of a dominant personality, more of like, you're always helping with the kids and everything. You just, you know, you're a great dad and everything. We things that I never saw or, whatnot. Even my best friend Mark even said, there's always, something, I didn't really get with Shanann. I was like, nobody ever told me any of this stuff, but okay. But yeah, I never thought about that story. And, that's what my attorneys were going with. And then, I think it was probably the second week I told them, what really happened.
What'd they say after that?
They were quiet. They were writing it down. They said they wouldn't judge me, so I told them.
Of course they wouldn't judge. I'm going to pause it here because it's very important we get to this Kessinger.
I just didn't think nothing was going to work again, so I didn't know what was going on.
Did you go down to the basement? I thought the basement door open.
Yeah, the door is open. Yeah. So there's a lot of movement. I think it was around 426 or something. The garage door opening, the basement door opening, and then of course the living room sensors and all. Remember what you were doing all during that time?
You had a lot of steps. I'll just say that.
Okay. So the basement, I'm not sure. I mean, the only thing I really have down there is my workout. The bench press and whatnot.
Did you ever going down there for anything or opening that door for anything? Did you think about, well, maybe I'll take her out that way, or is it a walkout basement?
No.
Or wasn't at your house? Okay.
It's like a garden level basement. So
Okay.
But I don't know. What's that? I don't think I worked out that morning.
Were you packing your lunch in the kitchen? Did you have to do all that normal stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. I packed lunch and everything.
So he don't remember why the basement was opened.
Did all that. I don't remember about the basement. Unless I just.
He doesn't remember about the basement. He doesn't remember about all the steps he was taking that his watch was counting.
Worked out that morning. I just don't remember. I don't think I did. So one of the more. Unless there was a trash bag down there at that point.
You got trash bags from there?
Maybe it wasn't in the garage. And I went down there and got one.
Guys, keep in mind, this is a man with the mind of an elephant. Okay?
Do you normally carry a roll of trash bags in your truck?
No.
So there was a roll in your truck.
It was. Yeah. Maybe I just grabbed it and brought it.
See, there was a roll of trash bags in the truck.
with me.
That would have been kept in the basement, maybe? Or
Basement or the garage.
the garage?
Guys, he knows what the hell he's saying. But when you are a pathological liar and a liar, you forget the lies you tell.
I'm sorry, what were you saying, Grandpa?
One of the more kind of poignant or tender moments in all of this was seeing with your dad when he came in. What was it like when you picked him up at the airport?
It was very strange. It was kind of like I almost knew it was probably the last time I'd ever see him on the outside. In my head, I knew that.
Yeah. What you guys talk about?
Honestly, he just wanted to talk about sports.
He just wanted to talk about sports. So you pick your dad up from the airport and he just wants to talk about sports, but your grandchildren are missing. Your son's wife is missing. I gotta get to this Kessinger part, but these other things are important too.
She kind of thought something may have happened because they hadn't come back.
Why do you say that she might have thought that?
She kept asking me, some weird questions. She kept asking, questions that only I would know, but she was testing to see if, it was actually me on the phone.
What do you mean?
She would ask, what's my dog's name? Or, what.
Yeah, exactly, Tammy. What do you mean? What do you mean? Let's go back a little bit.
she would ask like, like what's my dog's name, or like what do I like, what yoga studio do I go to, or something like that. And just like I just answer and then like another thing about, I'm not sure if this is you. Just like, okay.
Is this your
Okay, guys, his family's missing, but Kessinger's asking him if this is him. She's a little paranoid, don't you think? Isn't that odd?
text or is this who called? Oh, okay. So she wasn't hearing your voice. Okay.
Yeah, is it possible she thought you'd been arrested and we were on the phone?
What? Either Shanann had my phone or somebody else had my phone, or like maybe maybe she thought it was.
Well, hopefully Shanann would know all the answers to those questions, right?
No. This is Nikki asking me.
Yeah, but she's asking you your name of your dog and what yoga studio and
Yeah.
like what
So maybe she thought, maybe I was with Shanann, that she was just trying to find out who she was.
Exactly. She wasn't asking if that was Shanann, because Shanann would have those answers. Shanann would have known the name of the dog and everything else. Nikki was thinking that that was the FBI and Chris was already arrested. Hello?
Yeah, like some of the conversation, like on the 14th, got a little weird. I think that's when she met with CBI or something, or FBI. I'm not sure who she met with first.
So she talked to you after she met with?
No.
Oh, she
That
did.
was like, she had told me like, this is the last time you'll probably hear from me. I'm going to stay at my friend Jim's place while this is all going on. She said not to contact her until this is done.
She said not to contact her until this is done. Let's rewind. Let's listen again.
I'm going to stay at my friend Jim's place while this is all going on. She said not to contact her until this is done.
Till what's done?
She told me to delete everything. I didn't delete everything. Okay. I'm not sure why I didn't delete everything, but probably helped you guys out a little bit. But she told you to delete everything? Delete all conversations. Did she tell you why?
Yeah, why? Why would she tell you to delete everything? Let's rewind this one more time.
She told you to delete everything? Delete all conversations. Did she tell you why? She said delete it. Which I don't think you can ever delete a text message.
We're pretty good at getting deleted text messages.
When your dad came in, one of the first things you guys talked about, he said, kind of quietly, I cheated on her, I cheated on Shanann or something. Your dad didn't know until that time?
No, when I was in North Carolina on August 6th, when I spent most of the day with my parents and my sister and her.
Guys, they just asked him, did your dad and them know? And he caught himself. Let's rewind. Let's listen.
Kind of quietly, I cheated on her, I cheated on Shanann or something. Your dad didn't know until that time?
No, when I was in North Carolina on August 6th, when I spent most of the day with my parents and my sister and everybody, I had told them like something like, this, I don't think this is gonna work, like with what happened with the nuts and everything, and they're not being able to see the kids. They're like, this is the first time they had talked to me, and pretty much.
Oh, because you went 3 weeks or something, right?
Yeah, because Shanann told me to call them while I was at the beach just to smooth everything out, because she was like, all right, whatever's going on in your head, you need to fix this.
See, Shanann even encouraged that he call his parents because he hadn't spoke with them in weeks. Shanann encouraged him to fix it because whatever was going on in Chris's mind, because she knew he wasn't being himself, fix it. Call your parents. She encouraged it. She encouraged that. She wasn't trying to keep him away from his parents. She wasn't trying to keep the children away from the parents. She was encouraging the relationship.
But she didn't want the kids to see him. She didn't want to see him. And then, like, when I did see him on August 6th, it was after I went and saw my grandmother. She's in a nursing home. And she still wouldn't go see my parents or anybody with the kids. So I just told her to leave me there, and my dad would come pick me up, and.
She was very upset about that nut incident. That nut incident was very dangerous. Cece was deathly allergic to those nuts. Of course, she's going to be concerned. There's nuts around the house, razor blades. I mean, hello.
Spent the whole day there. They were, they said they want to see the kids. They just don't know if they could ever, just forgive Shanann for everything that happened that day. I guess, I'm not sure, everything that was said that day when they had that argument, but apparently it was like a knockdown, drag out, wow, that went on. Pretty hurtful things. Yeah, I'm guessing so. And, they just don't know, if they could ever forgive her or not. I never told them about, cheating on her.
Well, that, hurtful things were said because that was the last line that Shanann said. I'm done. Jamie and Cindy did not like Shanann. I just showed you guys earlier in the clips that I'm adding here. Chris stated it. You heard it out of his own mouth. They did not like Shanann. So then now you're antagonizing her and you're getting her upset, a pregnant woman, your daughter-in-law that's pregnant with your grandchild. You're getting upset because you're being vindictive and you're pushing buttons. Guys, of course she's gonna react that way. She's a mother. What mother in their right mind's not gonna behave and react the way Shanann reacted? You're putting my child's life in danger. Hello?
They asked me if there's somebody else. Oh, did they really? Yeah. So they could kind of sense maybe something's going on. Yeah, because Nikki was texting me the entire time I was over there. Oh. They could kind of see, I was texting somebody. But it was maybe they kind of knew. But even when I was in San Diego talking to my friend Mark, I told him about Nikki. But I didn't tell him, I was going to meet up with her. Okay. I told him that, I was trying to, I should have just told him, and then maybe that would have helped me. So I know maybe he had an instance where there was some girl coming after him, and she was engaged, and he ended up getting with her, and then they were together, and then she cheated on him. Is this before he was married or during? After. Okay. But he could have, helped me, but I just, I never told him the whole thing. That, it was a lot further along than I wanted. That's easier to think about, right? So, yeah, I gotta give him some good advice. Everybody. No, this is my friend Mark. Okay. When I was in San Diego. Oh, I gotcha. So you think you told Mark about that at home, and he maybe questioned you about it, or? Well, I was because Mark was his best friend. I grew up with him since I was 8, 9 years old. So I had been married before, and it didn't work out because they were stationed together or something over in Korea. And I should have just came out with the whole story. I just told my daughter was the girl at work that I've been talking to, but I'm just distancing myself from her. But that wasn't the case. I was just letting it, exponentially get worse. And if I told him, hey, he would be whoa, man, all right, take a step back and look.
See, I was telling Mark I was distancing myself from her when it was actually getting worse.
And don't fall into that trap. Being you're gonna be alone for 5 weeks. There's times I wish, maybe Shanann didn't have to go away for 5 weeks. Maybe we all just went for 1 week. Nothing would ever happen. It's only, 5 weeks alone, that's the only reason really that was even almost allowed to happen. There are quite a few people who would tell us, and who do tell us, we need to look into Nikki more, Nikki Kessinger, all the way from the extreme end of things being Nikki's the one who ordered the hit.
She was
She was there. You know, so the extreme is she's the one who told Chris to do it. She's the real problem all the way. That's the extreme side. And then all the way to, well, there were these texts where she was infatuated. She was in love. She was saying how good Chris was in the SAG. And maybe we should look at her more. You know, what would you say to those people?
Like, you know, she had her moments where I had to talk her like on the ledge kind of deal.
What does that mean?
It's like, I guess after the fact, there was like videos of her that she was like recording herself because she was like bipolar or something. I never knew that. But there, it's like, and she would get worked up about nothing. She would just like, she came to my house once because I think it was like July 4th. I didn't have to work that day.
So he was really worried.
4 o'clock and go home.
Shanann was going to find out about this affair.
10 times in a row. And I didn't hear it because I was sleeping. I was just like, and she was pissed. Shanann was pissed. And like I called her on outside, like, where are you at? Like,
Okay, you guys already heard this already in the beginning of the video.
the kids want to talk to you at 7:30. I'm like, hanging over their head, or I mean, it never got that far. I don't know. Yeah. But like, I didn't want people to have to relive it every day. Yeah. Did they have to ever see the pictures? Say that again. Did they have to ever see the pictures? Frank and Sandy and all that? No. No, they never saw that.
It's not some things.
They didn't see anything of that.
Okay.
Yeah. We should go with that for now. That's one thing. I just didn't want them to have to see anything or hear anybody talk about what anything or any part of it. Or like, you know, anybody bashed their daughter, you know, like anybody ruined, like, you know, they hear what, you know, some of my friends had a negative, you know, impact on her, from her, or like had a description of her that didn't match, you know, something like that. I didn't want them to hear that either. Like, I didn't want, like, you know, anybody have to trash her memory. Like, I wanted, like, them to know, like, she was, you know, she was loving life, she was beautiful, she always helped everybody else, all her friends, her Lucas friends, everybody. I just wanted, I didn't want anybody to take away what she did.
We tried to get you to say that night. I know, but do you remember that?
I remember. I was just like,
I knew you obviously weren't ready to say that.
I know. It's like, you know, like after my dad left, we both came in like, all right, we got most of the story. Let's get to the true story. I'm just like, I just wanted to bang my head against the table.
Let's hear that one more time.
Yeah. Just friends, everybody. I just wanted, I didn't want anybody to take away what she did.
We tried to get you to say that night. I know, but
Let's go back.
Go with that for now. That's one thing. I just didn't want them to have to see anything or hear anybody talk about what anything or any part of it. Or like, you know, anybody bashed their daughter, you know, like anybody ruined, like, you know, they hear what, you know, some of my friends had a negative, you know, impact on her, from her, or like had a description of her that didn't match, you know, something like that. I didn't want them to hear that either. I didn't want, like, you know, anybody have to trash her memory. Like, I wanted, like, them to know, like, she was, you know, she was loving life, she was beautiful, she always helped everybody else, all her friends, her Lucas friends, everybody.
She was a loving wife. She was beautiful. He didn't want anybody to trash her. So, is everyone getting this? Is everyone observing this? Because he's admitting that she was a lovely wife, very good to him, despite what other people in the family thought about her and said about her and hated her. Chris knows she was a very good wife to him. And right there, guys, you have it. Right there, you heard it.
I just wanted, I didn't want anybody to take away what she did.
We tried to get you to say that night. I know, but do you remember that?
I remember. I was just like,
I knew you obviously weren't ready to say that.
I know. It's like, you know, like after my dad left, we both came in like, all right, we got most of the story. Let's get to the true story. I'm just like, I just wanted to bang my head against the table.
But in the end, I think you did the right thing. And even though it's hard to hear, there's a lot of people who thank you for what you did. You know, I think your whole life has been thinking of others, except for one brief moment. You know, I think you really did think of others when you made that choice. So I personally thank you, right?
Okay, guys, listen to what he just stated. I think, you know, all your life you've done things for others, right? Think about that. Let's rewind that and let's hear it one more time.
Your whole life has been thinking of others, except for one brief moment. You know, I think you really did think of others when you
Except for one brief moment, you weren't thinking of others.
made that choice. So I personally thank you, right? Because it would have been hard for the three of us to go through about this hard and for everyone else about that hard, right?
There's anybody that was family or friend,
Right.
Then, you know, it's exponentially harder for everybody.
Yeah. I think you did the right thing.
So you haven't told your parents what happened? You just told them I'm pleading guilty for a reason?
Yeah, I've told them, like, on the phone, even, because they're still,
You should fight it. You should get...
they've got letters from, like, Australia, from England, I mean, of, like, the 35C in Colorado and stuff, like, you know, improper counsel or something like that.
Effective counsel.
Effective counsel, and, I mean, some of the stuff they've, they said about, the dry patch, how it's not, like, FDA approved, how it can alter somebody's mind, like, there was some kind of condition, but there was something else they call, like, CPSD, complex, post-traumatic stress disorder, something like that, and then, like, some people from England have had it. It's like they've been in an emotionally abusive relationship and stuff like that. I mean, just like, some of those subjects they put in there, like, yeah, I can relate to it, but like it doesn't make up for the fact what happened. But like they've got a lot of support they've got a lot of hate mail, a lot of phone calls, a lot of like,
Okay, who's he talking about post-traumatic stress disorder? I can get into post-traumatic stress disorder and go into the psychological aspects of post-traumatic stress disorder. Chris did not suffer post-traumatic stress disorder unless he's talking about his childhood.
stuff like that. I wish they never happened. But they get some support, which is good. But on the phone, they still think, there's a chance that I could get out.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to ever think your kid's going away forever. Like, you don't want to fathom that.
They tell me to fight it, like, they don't, not every day, but on their bad days, they'll get a bad message or a bad letter, and I'll just kind of revert back.
Is that more your mom or your dad?
My mom, she loses it a lot.
Yeah.
On the phone, my dad's usually trying to, like, hey, don't talk about this stuff on the phone. Because it's just going to rattle you up, and it's going to make him go back to his cell. He's going to think about that all night.
Right.
And that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Would you ever want them to know what you're telling us today?
I'd rather just tell them myself.
Yeah.
Except they're coming, I think they're going to try to make a visit in like May or so.
So do they still think that Shanann killed us?
They still believe that, even though I told them I pled guilty for a reason. They think that I was, their words, like, railroaded by belief.
Yeah.
Because they felt like they pressured me to do it.
Do you feel like that?
No. They asked me plenty of times. This is like, they wanted to fight. Like, if I said fight, they would have just,
Put on their gloves?
Yeah. Just went in there and did it. Yeah, it's like, no, I can't have you do that.
So Chris, you care about others deeply. I can tell you worry about others. And I've asked you, a bunch of times today, but you're not just telling us that you did it. I mean, that you feel bad for Shanann's liver. You did it. Okay.
I have to say, like, after this was all over, people would bring up, like, oh my gosh, I bet you're going to find out that Chris, used to torture animals and, all this stuff. you can imagine, like, you know, hearing that someone's capable of that, what have they done in their past, those kinds of things. Can you think back to your past at all, like your childhood, and think about any other moments that maybe you felt the same rage? I mean, obviously didn't do anything like that, but maybe felt that rage, and like what would have triggered that, or anything like that?
Not really. I mean, I was always like somebody that tried to coax people.
So not really. Not really.
Somebody wanted to fight somebody else. I didn't get in a fight like when I was in 3rd grade, but it was like, you know, we ripped each other's shirt and I cried. You know, that was like stupid. I was just like, why did I do that? Like maybe.
Wait, but in Cindy's interview, she said he never got in any fights.
That was like my only like bad thing I did in school. So I can't think of it.
Did you feel it on the inside, whether you didn't act it out? Like, did you feel like if someone bullied you at school, or if someone whatever, like, would it still be inside you? Like, did you feel like that even though you didn't actually act on it?
Always, because I was always, you know, I never really talked to many people. So I never, people knew who I was, but they didn't really, I mean, I never really spoke to many people. That's why I never really had a girlfriend in high school. I mean, I was always kind of like, just under the radar.
Did you feel like you had low self-esteem?
I won't say low self-esteem. It was just like, I didn't want to be part of like a group or a clique. I just like, you know, I had a couple friends that sat at the lunch table with them, and or sat out, they call it like the fish pond area, and, you know, was chilled out there. You know, I didn't really want a whole lot of friends. It's kind of like this close knit. And it just wasn't out there. I mean, like I said, people knew who I was, but it wasn't, I didn't like it was popular or anything.
Can you attribute that to anything in your childhood? Why you were like
My
that?
sister was always the popular one. She was more like my mom, like more like outgoing, and like me and my grandma would always sit outside in middle school waiting for her to come out and pick her up, and she'd always be the last one out. She'd talk to everybody, you know. And my grandma would always like, "Where's she at? She's only waiting." But you know, I was just the opposite of her. Well, it's like sometimes you have kids that are like the same, some you have opposite. Me and my sister were completely opposite. Maybe I just drew on that I didn't want to be the popular one. I wanted to be just, you know, just a regular guy. So but there was not really like bullying or nothing like I remember. Nobody ever really came up to me or wanted to fight me or
Never got made fun of, never...
I mean, I had braces and I had like a bowl cut for a while. I guess it could have made me fun.
I think most kids did.
80s and 90s are cool.
The chin carry cut with a hole in your head.
I'm gonna stop it here.
I don't think there was anything. It's okay. Like I said,
How do you think that affected you?
I don't think it affected me at well, it did affect me, but it didn't like take like deep down, it didn't like really hurt as much as I thought it would. It was kind of weird because of my thing that my mom and my sister told me. Like when they talked to him about it didn't seem to register. Like I said, like he would just change subject, and like when I talked about it, he eventually immediately changed subject. I was like, because they found like, you know, cuts on his like CDs and stuff where he would like, you know, like separate it and stuff like that. Because he's at a car dealership. I mean, find guys that do that kind of stuff all the time, I guess. But he was just coping with like, I never came back home, and because before I met Shanann, and it was just.
Did you feel guilty?
See how they would make him feel guilty that he left home, and so Dad's a drug addict because he left home? No, Dad was a drug addict before he left home. Come on. Who would put that on their child?
That he's now using drugs because he never came back home, like he lost his kid?
You know, I never really knew why he was doing it. After the fact, I knew it was because he was coping with that, but I never knew why he really actually turned to drugs. My mom thought he was having an affair because like, all this money was going somewhere else, just for the drugs. But like myself, I never used drugs, so I always try to tell him like, hey, like what's going on? Like why do you need to use this? Just, like, you didn't use it. Throw your life away. I mean, like, because you can see in his face, like, you know, it's like eyes were like everything was getting like, you know, like the drugs through your face, and like your skin was getting all loose, like he was losing a lot of weight. His nose was bleeding all the time, all kinds of stuff like that. And I just thought like, hey, you know, you smoked like every day of your life since you were like 15 or 16. Like, you know, I can't get you to stop that, but I can get you to stop this.
Right.
And he put it away, I guess, pretty quick after I talked to him about it.
You think you were closer to your dad than your mom? Yeah.
Yeah, we always went to races together, and you know, he always trained my sports, played a couple of school sports, right ball, all that kind of stuff, you know. My mom would come through sometimes, but my dad was always there. Yeah. Even if I wasn't playing, he'd just come there just in case I can't win in there.
Aww.
So, that's cool.
Yeah. Well, I wondered if they hadn't visited because they weren't ready to visit, or if it was a money thing, or, you know, like,
Is it here?
getting time off.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you. Like,
Is it here?
yeah, visit here.
Well, I just told him, like, well, we can't drive in the snow. So it's kind of like, you know, I don't want...
These roads are bad.
Yeah, it's, takes
I'm
like an
gonna
hour.
pause it.
Either Madison Airport, whichever.
Just gonna add this little clip in here. It's important. I want everyone to listen.
All over the sheet or anything involved in like that? On the face specifically? No?
Like the sheet that kind of wrapped around the get downstairs.
The one that was at the site. Okay. And then the other sheets, they were in the trash. At what point did you put those in there?
I think that was
Obviously after I was in the house.
yeah. I think it was probably the next day or so.
Okay.
I think it, like, I'm not sure like what happened. This is hard to talk about. Like when strangle someone, I don't like. Sometimes I guess they use the bathroom. So it was like I think that one of the major reasons why, because I think that had happened.
Oh, okay.
Okay, did you guys just hear that? That right there, he said it's kind of hard to talk about because, you know, when something like that happens, they use the bathroom, and he thinks that's what happened. Now keep in mind, Kessinger stated he was in the bed and said that he had to wash the girls' sheets because they stunk. Keep that in your mind.
You said she was sleeping face down at one point? Was her face in the pillow or was it turned to the side?
Kind of like on the side. She was kind of like a side sleeper, but she was more down than usual.
I don't want to
But then she rolled completely onto her back.
get into all that. Everyone can go back and listen to the confessions yourself. I want to get to the really important part, which is Kessinger.
They were just walking around the house. I was put my lunchbox and stuff in the truck, and then grabbed the kids and I put the bed sheet in the back.
Did you just hear that? He grabbed the girls and put them in the bed sheets in the truck. Let's rewind that.
Put my lunchbox and stuff in the truck, and then grabbed the kids and I put the bed sheet in the back. That's so shit.
Then I put them in the bed sheet in the back. Hello, let's listen to this one more time.
Put my lunchbox and stuff in the truck, and then grabbed the kids and I put the bed sheet in the back. That's so Shanann. She kind of on the floor in the back, and they're just.
Okay, guys, did you get that? I hope you got that.
And she kind of on the floor in the back.
Alright, so I want you guys to listen very carefully coming up to what Chris asked them.
At that point, okay. Is there any reason you would feel uncomfortable to tell me that they were not alive at that point? No. Okay. Was it the video or anything?
Did you just hear that? He says, is there any reason why you would feel uncomfortable telling me that they weren't alive? And you heard Chris's response, right? Let's rewind it, let you hear it one more time.
Is there any reason you would feel uncomfortable to tell me that they were not alive at that point? No. Okay. Was it the video or anything?
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? You guys are hearing this, right? Gonna rewind it one more time so that everybody can hear this again.
Is there any reason you would feel uncomfortable to tell me that they were not alive at that point? Okay.
Was it the video or anything?
It's hard to see.
Okay. Did you guys hear that? Why? Was there a video? Was there a video or anything? There you go. He was fed outside information, conjures up a story, which shows the inconsistencies in his story that he's telling. And right there you go. There you go. But let's get to the Kessinger part that I keep trying to get to. But I keep finding more inconsistencies. And like I stated before, a pathological liar lies, right? And a liar forgets the lies that they tell. So right there, you just heard it. Alright guys, keep in mind, he had stated earlier that the girls were buckled in their seatbelts, right? In Chris's truck, so it's opposite of each other. Buckled in their seatbelts.
Activating yourself.
I don't know if it was that. They know that smell like a skunk maybe sometimes.
Oh,
So I got some kind of smell that way, but I don't know what that was from.
And was that maybe outside the truck or was that in?
I don't know.
Okay. What did you guys talk about on the way out?
They were pretty quiet. They just, laid next to each other.
Okay.
Maybe Bella.
They're pretty quiet. They just laid next to each other. Then he's going to go on to say, maybe.
Bella in her lap and CC in her lap, just back and forth. I don't know.
Okay. What did you guys talk about on the way out?
They were pretty quiet. They just, laid next to each other.
Okay.
Maybe Bella in her lap and CC in her lap, just back and forth.
Oh, okay. Just trading off like little ones do. Okay.
Guys, he's lying. He's lying.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Do you mind if I take a picture of you just to show what you look like now? You just look so different then.
just,
It's not going to go on social media or
Okay.
anything. It's just for like our own records.
okay.
Is that okay?
That's fine.
Are you asking him something?
Yeah.
Guys, that was a tactic to say, this is who we were talking to. That's his voice. And this is the picture that Tammy took of him. Right here. That's the picture you're looking at. Right there.
Yeah, it's like one of those frozen pops or something. But, it's just like she had to learn that just because one kid can have something, there's another kid that can't have it for a legitimate reason. Like, she couldn't have done it, but, that's the kind of talk I had with her. When Shanann called me, I think it was maybe like middle of July or something when she told me all this had happened. That's when I called my mom and talked to them for a while, and then they were just like, they just couldn't deal with her anymore. And just kind of like, they like flipped out, like after you told Bella to go hide behind the curtain because I don't think your mom was going to let you come over here again or something like that. So I got hit. Oh, it was bad.
Really?
Yeah, it was like a last straw with them, I think.
Like in the same room or over the phone?
No, they were at my mom's house, yeah. The CC and Bella and my niece and nephew were there.
Okay.
How did Shanann find out about the ice cream thing?
Because Shanann was there, and I guess they were all sitting. One's couch was kind of like a U, and my niece went into the kitchen, and she knew where the ice cream was. She'd been there.
So it's not like your mom gave it to her? Like she got her own ice cream?
She went in the freezer, got it, went out, and stopped beside CC and started eating. So, but like it's just a matter of like CC could go like that. Now, I don't know what would happen if she just got it on her hand.
Right.
But like I know on like the prick test, on the back, it's like a welt.
So were they staying there at your parents' house during that time?
Yeah, it was. So they would go from from Sandy and Frank's house for like a few days or 5 days, and then go to my mom and dad's house for a couple of days, kind of back and forth.
Okay.
So it happened during that time? They were there, yeah. Okay.
And so there were so many things that happened, weren't there? There just were little tiny ingredients to this recipe.
Yeah, nothing like.
It's nuts, Chris. I mean, it's so many things just didn't go your way.
Everything was like somebody was stirring a pot. And it was just.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was like. So then, I know I keep bringing it up. Can you walk me through just the last few minutes before Shanann died?
It was pretty much just. I got dressed for work, and then that she just thought it was different.
What about our male friend? Where does he stand with her? What's his name?
Jim,
Jim. Thank you.
he worked in the oil field, North Dakota, I believe, and I guess he's been a friend of hers for a long time, and it's kind of like a shoulder to cry on. Is always somebody that's always been around for her. And I guess he's had a couple girlfriends, and just I guess he's not hadn't had much luck, I guess, in that department as far as like keeping girlfriends, and just him and Nikki have always been good friends. Either while they go all over the place.
When Sandy and Frank lived in the house for 15 months, what was that like?
It was
Shanann, North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Just like flirting stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it was natural flirting back and forth, and that was just like, I knew that, like, with that video timing, I probably just looked like I was, like, felt guilty for even talking to my girl at work.
You probably did, right?
Yeah.
Did you guys fight before, you and Shanann? I know you talked about like not really raising your voice and stuff. Was there? Because I want to say, didn't a neighbor talk about them fighting and stuff?
Yeah, but that was embellished and exaggerated, and he retracted that.
Oh, he ended up doing that?
He retracted that. So.
Did you guys ever fight? Did you ever? Was there any domestic violence in your house? Like, this is strange to us.
Even from her to you, I mean,
Yeah.
she gets mad when she's pregnant and grabs a knife or
No, like,
scratches you or smacks you around or nothing.
no, she'd never, like, nothing.
Okay.
That's what makes all this even more hard to understand from my standpoint, and from yours too.
Yeah.
Did she ever belittle you?
See, he admits it himself. Shanann did nothing wrong.
Did you ever feel that way, maybe?
Was that?
Did she ever make you feel like she belittled you, or you felt belittled by her?
I mean, there's always points, like, in a marriage where, like, you know, the dominant person, like, you know, takes control of everything, but, like, I was, my whole life, I just kind of went with the flow, like, yeah, I never...
Hey guys, so his whole life, he's always went with the flow. So when they asked about belittling, you can't say that, you know, it was Shanann belittling him. What he's saying, it's the other way around. Just going off of, you know, his own words. So, let's continue.